If you're over 60 and you've been silently battling belly bloat, sluggish digestion, and that heavy feeling after meals, this message is for you. Imagine this. You're standing in front of the mirror. The scale barely moves, your clothes feel tighter, and despite cutting back on portions, the stubborn belly fat just won't budge. You tell yourself it's part of getting older, but what if I told you that's not entirely true? For many seniors, especially those reflecting on decades of life experience, the body is not just aging, it's signaling. It's quietly asking for help, but most of us have forgotten how to listen. Let's pause here, right now, because the next 10 minutes might reframe how you see your health forever. This isn't another fad, it's not a quick fix. It's a return to wisdom, elderly wisdom, that's been passed down from generation to generation, buried under pharmaceutical noise and forgotten cures. A ritual that starts with just one glass every morning. This simple practice, rooted in ancient traditions and backed by modern science, has helped countless seniors, like 61-year-old Eleanor Hayes from Oregon, feel lighter, healthier, and more alive than they've felt in years. And here's the secret. It's not expensive, not complicated, and not some trendy health drink. It's real, gentle, and it works. So if you've ever felt like your body's slowing down, if digestion feels like a chore, and belly fat has quietly crept in over the years, this video might be your turning point. Stay with me, because by the end of this story, not only will you understand why your body is holding on to that belly fat, but you'll also have a timeless solution, one rooted in elderly reflections and life lessons from the elderly. Now, before we begin, if you find value in topics like senior health, elderly inspiration, motivation, quotes, and timeless remedies, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. This small act helps us continue spreading messages that matter. Let's keep elderly wisdom alive. We're not here to waste your time. If you're over 60 and feel that belly fat, bloating, and sluggish digestion are weighing down your days, this is for you. Because the truth is, the body speaks. But with years of habits, processed foods, medications, and stress, we've stopped listening. And now, even when the body whispers through signs like fatigue, fullness, or tight clothes, we dismiss it as just aging. Let me tell you about Eleanor Hayes, 61, from Oregon. Eleanor never thought she'd struggle with digestion. She was active, mindful of her meals, and had a strong family history of longevity. But somewhere along the way, the signs crept in. A bloated belly, constipation that became too familiar, afternoon fatigue, tightness around the midsection that never used to be there. What changed? Nothing dramatic. But sometimes it's not about changing everything. It's about returning to what your body knows, returning to gentle routines, simple ingredients, elderly wisdom. That's when Eleanor found what she calls her morning ritual. It started with one glass every morning, a blend of 5 ingredients. None of them fancy. All of them are powerful. Let's begin with the first and most overlooked element, warm water. Warm water is not a trendy wellness hack. It's an ancient ritual. From Ayurvedic practices in India to indigenous traditions in the Americas, the idea of waking the body with gentle warmth has stood the test of time. Warm water, especially when consumed first thing in the morning, helps wake up your internal systems. For seniors, this is vital. As we age, digestion slows, blood circulation weakens, and metabolism can become sluggish. When you drink warm water, it helps to relax the stomach and intestinal muscles, preparing the digestive tract to move smoothly. It enhances blood flow, which in turn supports better nutrient absorption and metabolic readiness. That initial warmth also triggers digestive enzymes, essential for breaking down food efficiently. Additionally, for those who experience constipation in the morning, a common issue among seniors, warm water encourages gentle elimination. It also creates a mild sense of fullness, which can help reduce unnecessary snacking throughout the day. This seemingly small act of drinking warm water also signals self-care. It tells the body, you matter. Starting the day this way helps shift not just digestion, but mindset. And mindset, for many seniors, becomes the invisible lever that either lifts or limits health. For Eleanor, this simple habit replaced her dependency on coffee as a morning stimulant. I felt like my gut was finally cooperating with me, she said. It was the first time in years I didn't dread breakfast. As the days passed, she noticed another surprising benefit: less tension in her lower back and abdomen. Her bloating became less frequent, and her appetite felt more balanced. She no longer woke up overwhelmed by her to-do list or low energy. There was a rhythm again. Now let's talk about the second element of this powerful morning ritual: apple cider vinegar. There's a reason Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, used apple cider vinegar, ACV, over 2,000 years ago. Its benefits haven't changed, only our awareness of them has faded. Apple cider vinegar operates on several key levels. First, it helps stabilize blood sugar, a critical benefit for anyone trying to avoid energy crashes or persistent cravings. It also increases insulin sensitivity, making it less likely that the food you eat turns into stored fat, especially around the belly. Additionally, ACV boosts metabolism by activating genes that promote fat burning. It aids in digestion by stimulating stomach acid, easing issues like bloating, gas, and acid reflux. Perhaps most notably, it promotes the breakdown of visceral fat, the deep abdominal fat closely linked to heart disease and metabolic syndrome. But it's more than just a physical transformation. The mental and emotional clarity that comes from balancing blood sugar and reducing inflammation is often overlooked. Eleanor shared how, after just 1 week, her afternoon crashes disappeared. I used to get that 3 p.m. fog, she said, but suddenly I felt steady, like I had fuel instead of a furnace burning out. She began to notice her pants fitting more comfortably. Her rings slid on easier in the morning, small signs that her body was shifting, not in a dramatic, unsustainable way, but gradually, gently, like returning to an old rhythm she'd lost sight of. There's also something deeply symbolic about vinegar: its sharpness, its tang. It wakes up the senses, it reclaims space. Many seniors, especially women, have spent years quieting their appetites, emotions, even their physical presence. This drink, with its bold yet healing nature, is a quiet form of reclamation. Eleanor began by adding 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered ACV to her warm water each morning. It wasn't immediate, she admits, but after 10 days I could feel the difference. I wasn't weighed down anymore. She continued using the drink in 10-day cycles, pausing for 3 days between rounds. With each cycle, she noticed improvements. Her digestion normalized, her energy levels steadied, and even her mood felt more lifted. I was no longer afraid of food, she said, and I wasn't chasing diets anymore, just caring for myself in a deeper way. In the previous part, we met Eleanor Hayes, a 61-year-old woman who reclaimed her health with a morning ritual built on warm water and apple cider vinegar. But those were just the beginning. Her real transformation came when she added 3 more natural ingredients, each with ancient roots and modern scientific backing. Today, we explore lemon, ginger, and cinnamon, not as simple kitchen staples, but as allies in digestion, metabolism, and emotional well-being. These are the missing links that helped Eleanor not only flatten her belly, but feel grounded, lighter, and more connected to her body than she had in years. Let's begin where her story resumes. On the morning, she added the brightness of lemon. It began with a wedge of lemon, simple, humble, but far more powerful than most realize. Eleanor squeezed the juice into her glass, unaware that she was about to awaken her digestive system on a cellular level. Lemons are rich in vitamin C, yes, but they're also full of compounds that aid digestion, reduce inflammation, and support liver function. What makes lemon unique is how it activates the body. That tart burst on the tongue triggers the salivary glands and digestive enzymes even before food enters the stomach. It's a biological cue that says, prepare for nourishment. For seniors, this cue is critical. As we age, enzyme production naturally slows, making digestion sluggish and uncomfortable. Lemon revives that process. It signals readiness. Eleanor described it as like flipping a switch. My stomach stopped fighting me. It felt like it wanted to help. Even more fascinating is the alkalizing effect of lemon. Though acidic in taste, once metabolized, lemon helps balance the body's pH. This matters because a balanced pH supports better nutrient absorption and a calmer gut, especially important for those with acid reflux or bloating. And then came the deeper healing. Lemon also helps flush out toxins, particularly from the liver. Eleanor noticed within a week that her skin looked brighter, her eyes clearer. It wasn't just my stomach that felt lighter, she said. It was my whole self, but the journey didn't stop there. Eleanor's next addition was ginger, an ingredient her grandmother once used for everything from cold relief to motion sickness. She grated a small piece into her glass. The scent alone, earthy, peppery, warming, transported her. It reminded me of childhood, she recalled, but also made me feel strong in the present. Ginger is rich in compounds like gingerol, which have potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. These work to reduce internal inflammation, not only in the digestive tract, but also in joints, muscles, and the cardiovascular system. For seniors who suffer from stiffness or arthritis, this is game-changing. Ginger also stimulates saliva, bile, and gastric enzymes, all crucial for efficient digestion. But its magic lies in how it soothes and strengthens at once. Eleanor said it best. It was like my belly stopped bracing and started breathing. She also began to notice fewer headaches, less nausea when traveling, and a stronger immune response during flu season. Ginger's warming properties helped her feel more energized in the mornings, even before breakfast. She used to dread winter mornings, stiff fingers, heavy legs. But now she woke up and walked into the kitchen with intention. She said, "It's not about losing fat anymore. It's about feeling awake in my own body again." Then came the final piece of the puzzle, cinnamon. This wasn't just about taste, though the sweet, grounding flavor made the morning drink feel like a cozy ritual. Cinnamon has powerful metabolic benefits, particularly for seniors struggling with blood sugar control. Cinnamon increases insulin sensitivity and helps the body process glucose more efficiently. This prevents blood sugar spikes and the crashes that follow, events that often lead to fatigue, irritability, and cravings for unhealthy snacks. But cinnamon goes even further. It helps fight visceral fat, the dangerous fat stored deep within the abdomen, surrounding vital organs. By balancing blood sugar, it indirectly tells the body, you don't need to store fat right now. Eleanor, who had always battled late-night cravings, was amazed. By the end of the second week, I wasn't raiding the fridge at 10 p.m. I was calm, satisfied, and my waist, finally, was coming back. Cinnamon also supports a healthy gut microbiome by reducing harmful bacteria and promoting beneficial strains. This microbial balance affects everything from digestion to mood. For Eleanor, this meant less bloating, yes, but also more clarity and a surprising sense of peace. She said the scent alone changed her mornings. It was like a hug in a glass, and it gave me something to look forward to. When Eleanor combined these three with her warm water and apple cider vinegar, something powerful happened. Synergy. Each ingredient helped on its own. But together, they amplified one another. The lemon softened, ginger stirred, cinnamon grounded, and all of it delivered in a cup that became more than a drink. It became a daily act of self-respect. Science supports this blend. Multiple studies link these ingredients to improved digestion, reduced belly fat, lower cholesterol, and better metabolic health. But more than science, it was consistency that changed Eleanor's life. This wasn't a detox, it was a return, a quiet morning ritual that connected her with her body, her breath, her worth. Eleanor's story didn't end with the discovery of 5 ingredients. It blossomed into a sustainable lifestyle, one that honored her body's rhythm, respected her age, and embraced consistency over intensity. In this final part, we reveal the exact recipe she followed, the science behind each step, and how seniors can safely integrate this drink into their daily routine. But more than just how to, this is about why, because the deeper reason for this ritual is self-respect, and that is the most powerful change of all. So how exactly did Eleanor prepare this restorative blend every morning? It began with 1 to 2 cups of warm water, depending on her appetite and mood, not boiling, not cold, just comfortably warm, like the kind you'd sip on a quiet morning wrapped in a soft robe. The temperature matters. Too hot, and it shocks the digestive system. Too cold, and it stifles metabolism. Warmth, however, gently stimulates circulation and activates the stomach lining, inviting enzymes to rise and do their work. Into this warmth, Eleanor squeezed 2 to 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. She preferred organic lemons for the purity of flavor and the added benefit of essential citrus oils. On days she felt bloated or sluggish, she grated in a little lemon zest too, its oils more potent, giving her that extra brightness. Next came 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. Eleanor used the kind with the mother, those cloudy strands at the bottom of the bottle that contain beneficial bacteria and enzymes. She always added it after the lemon, stirring slowly with a wooden spoon, never metal. "I don't know if it's just an old habit," she laughed, "but I like the ritual of it." Then came the magic of ginger. Sometimes she added a few thin slices. Other times she used about 1-2 teaspoons of freshly grated ginger root. On winter mornings, she added more. On summer days, a little less. The scent alone signaled her body to awaken gently, her metabolism to ignite. Finally, she dusted in about 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. Known as true cinnamon, it's lower in coumarin, a compound that can be harsh on the liver in large amounts. The cinnamon grounded the drink in comfort. "It made the whole thing taste like care," she once said. This simple combination of warm water, lemon juice with zest, raw apple cider vinegar, fresh ginger, and Ceylon cinnamon became her morning foundation. Eleanor drank this first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, but when her days were long or her digestion sluggish, she split the drink into 2 smaller servings, half in the morning, half mid-afternoon. "It helped me say no to snacks I didn't need," she said. "It kept me grounded." This is where the rhythm matters. Eleanor followed a 10-day cycle. For 10 consecutive mornings, she made this drink a non-negotiable. She noticed the most dramatic changes by day. 6. Less bloating, regular elimination, less brain fog. By day 10, she could see the difference in her clothes, her skin, even her posture. Then she paused. For 3 days, she gave her body a break. This was important, not because the ingredients were harmful, but because her body, like all bodies, needed variation to stay responsive. After the pause, she began again. Over time, Eleanor made this drink a lifelong ritual. She adjusted the portions with care. Some days, she used only half a tablespoon of vinegar. Others, she skipped lemon and used orange instead. She learned to listen. She became the expert of her own body. And this is the key. No drink, no ingredient, no routine can replace the wisdom that comes from tuning in. Seniors carry not just age, but experience. Their bodies hold stories. Their digestion carries decades. A gentle morning ritual like this honors that history. It doesn't erase the past, it nourishes the present. What Eleanor discovered, more than a slimmer waist or better digestion, was sovereignty. She no longer feared her belly, no longer viewed her appetite as something to control, but something to collaborate with. She wasn't chasing youth, she was reclaiming balance. And that's what we wish for every senior. Not a miracle drink, but a moment of stillness, a reconnection to self, a reminder that you are not forgotten, you are not done, you are worthy of care, especially your own. This is more than a recipe, it's a morning promise, a reflection of the deeper truths we often overlook in the noise of quick fixes and empty health claims. This drink won't do everything, but it might be the beginning of everything. So here's your invitation. Try it. For 10 days. Feel your body respond. Notice what shifts, not just in your digestion, but in your mood, your cravings, your energy, your sense of self. Then pause, reflect, and if it speaks to you, begin again. Because sometimes the smallest daily acts lead to the most lasting transformation. And sometimes all it takes is one warm glass, held with intention, to remind you that healing was never far, it was always within reach. If this story touched something in you, if you saw even a glimpse of yourself in Eleanor's journey, please consider liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and sharing it with someone who might need this gentle nudge towards self-care. We'd also love to hear from you. Where are you watching from? What resonated with you most in this story? Drop a comment below and join the conversation. Elderly reflections and real-life stories like yours are what keep this community strong.